There was a story in the Daily Mail about this older woman who, after 20 years of marriage, got dumped, and then she tried to do it the traditional way. She was striking up conversations with people in the supermarket and whatever, and they were all just looking at her like she's weird. So then she tried online dating. Now, it took her a while, like 56 dates or something, but eventually she found another man, and they're very happy together. And I have to say that I'm the only single person around this table, and so, like, when I mentioned this to them, these two earlier, they were kind of like, oh, they still have that sort of thing about online dating. And I would admit that maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I would have been like, it's kind of almost like an admission, defeat or something. Whereas now, I thank God for online dating. I mean, it would have been years since I got laid without online dating. It's just
and
another
it's for getting
tool.
laid, is it? It's not to meet a nice man.
Well, my last two, serious-ish boyfriends were both. I met them both online, and on top of that, I've also made some great friends online. People you go for a date with. It doesn't really work out in that way, but I've stayed good friends with these.
And could I ask you a personal question?
Of course.
In terms of. When do you tell them that you're HIV positive in that
It's
scenario?
a sort of a case-by-case basis. Now, I'm saved some of that because, I'm a well-known gay in Ireland, so a lot of that is sort of done for me. But it's a case-by-case basis. It's always a worry, and I hate it. It's like sort of, I always compare it to coming out, like when you have to tell people you were gay, having to tell people you're HIV positive. So it's one of those things. But I sort of have a 3-date rule. I don't let it go past 3 dates.
Right.
But I'd like to get it in sooner.
Does it put people off if they don't know?
It certainly does. A lot. Yeah, quite a few. Although I'm always really surprised. People who you think shouldn't... Because, of course, I'm not to bore you all with details, but, of course, being HIV positive nowadays is a very manageable condition. It's, whatever, nothing to freak out about. But sometimes they'll surprise you. The ones that, who are sort of, in their 30s or 40s and you think must have known a million people and you think they're the ones who might freak out about it. And then sometimes it'll be some younger guy you think, well, he's definitely going to freak out and he'll be totally... understand everything. So you can never tell who's going to freak out.
Can I ask you another question? That thing you mentioned about being a well-known gay, that does make me think, are there guys like who'll say, oh, Rory O'Neill, he's panty, and they might be guys with, like, I'd call it a sexual fantasy, if you know what I'm saying, guys who fancy panty rather than Rory? Not really. I mean, the average gay guy is not sort of lying in bed dreaming of Mr. Right, and Mr. Right is wearing a wig and a big dress. He's not. I think that's
a guy with a mustache who's fixing a car. So it doesn't help my love life generally.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
have you had a request?
Oh yeah, it has happened. Well, when I was younger, it would happen more.
Right.
But now I'm a middle-aged woman. Like.